feel good. This is me on camera, so I'm just gonna keep it off this time. My bad.
I look a fucking mess. I'm not going on no camera.
I get it.
I just want y'all to know how important this game is to me to be here at this roundtable because there is a Kaleidoscope tribal happening right now, and this is only the second time in the history of Kaleidoscope that I have allowed somebody else to host that.
All
Whoa.
right,
Oh my
guys.
gosh.
You are live. This is roundtable number 2. You'll have till 10:02 or until you all stop talking. Um, y'all know the drill. Good luck.
Okay, I'm gonna go first because my voice is sore and just getting stuff out of the way fast. Um, Also, there's cats going crazy in the background because I'm watching cats at my friend's house. Um, so I just want to say that anytime lists were asked for, I put my list in as soon as I did mine, including the candy, like around 2:30 p.m. on Wednesday, Tuesday. Sorry, chat got closed down Friday, so I also wasn't able to post any responses Friday when I would have done them. My susses are Evan. I feel like he's being extremely loud and always pushing me, which is sus because I've talked to him maybe like 3 or 4 times. So I'm like, okay, not going to address any of the stuff I put in the parlor chat. That was the last time I was addressing those specific topics. I also am extremely hurt because I've always tried to help the people I thought were faithful, even when I wasn't in on collaborations, because those collaborations were happening during my workday. So just throwing that out there is like I gave my candy to people I honestly think was faithful, and I included people who voted me last time. Because it doesn't matter if you vote me, I'm a faithful. I'm gonna make sure you get through because I don't want you to fucking die. Um, I also was and I wrote down notes because I'm a bit delirious. Just give me a second. Um, I also had Hilfer on my list, but that might change because I thought that sometimes in certain instances he would say one thing, but then immediately say the other thing like right after that. So I was like, is it an and or situation, or is it honestly changing because you're hearing people out? I might be a little less sus on him after tonight. My initial sus on Scooter was very reactionary. I mean, I think that's pretty fair. I mean, I think he's the only one on my list where the reason he was there was I felt like it all had to do with scheduling, and I got on pretty quick to explain that I had decided to play while I was at work, which I know came off sus. So basically, I felt like that was the only reason I was seeing from him. And I've tried to like put my actions where my words were. Like today, I was like, I'm sick, I'm going to the doctor, I'm not going to be very active, and I'm going to give my thoughts at roundtable, and I pretty much did. So I just want to throw it out there. And then someone brought up like, oh, well, like some of the people you gave candy to are the loudest. And I'm like, yeah, I think they're the loudest faithfuls. Like, I think they're really fighting to like prove they're faithful. And that's where I stand on that.
So to reiterate, Hills, you just said that I'm like your number one suspect right now.
Yeah. Sorry.
No,
Also,
it's fine.
I meant to post it Friday, but I literally like passed out for 12 hours, woke up and the chat was closed, and I was like, God damn. I missed some shit when I was asleep.
No, you're fine. I'm just laughing because I think it's funny and like ridiculous funny. I just find it wild that I'm like now your number one sus. Like, I don't know, it feels tit for tat again, which is fair, it's valid. Everyone's allowed to feel sus and like I welcome it onto me. It's also feels reactionary, but I mean, we keep it moving. My question is that you just said that you give candy to the people that were faithful, but now you're claiming that you think I'm sus. I'm just
Yeah, I
trying to
went
like,
into the challenge feeling that you were faithful, but then it was like, I see you immediately pushing me on your list again. Like as soon as people
I'm
ask for the
allowed
list.
to. I feel like I'm allowed
No,
to
you
push.
are, but I
Yeah.
mean, then I'm allowed to feel sus about that.
You feel sus because you're a traitor. That's why you feel sus.
No,
Yeah.
you've been coming for me.
Yeah, because I think you're a traitor, and this is basically confirming to me that you are a traitor. Does anyone does anyone find it weird that they're sussing me now? Feel free to
Have-
speak because I'm not gonna sit here and say all this stuff. I just find it so wild that now today, Sid being the first person to ever suss me, now I'm their number one sus. Does anyone want to say anything about it? Does that speak to anyone as much as it's speaking to me right now?
The tit for tat does feel a little weird.
It's a little bit because
That's
I'm noticing
super-
a trend now. This feels like the second time you're bringing up a sus because they sussed you or they voted you in Scooter's case last time.
Have you
Right,
ever
like, 'cause
watched Traitors before?
I will say,
Oh,
I remember
yeah,
being
why
on a
it's
call.
relevant.
Wait,
But
can
I'm
we have
saying
Hilda answer that
again, I said
question?
I was
Sorry.
gonna say it in the chat and not say it again, but I'll say it again. We're gonna have crossover on our lists regardless. Again, I was gonna post my list Friday, but the chat was locked down. So I was at a loss.
I mean,
think-
Hells, what are you looking for when you're searching for a traitor?
Inconsistency.
Where has my inconsistency been?
And then like when I address a reason and my answer to that reason remains consistent about how I see what you thought, but here's the reality of it. And I said, I'm not going to play
Not
when
the
I'm at work
reality of it,
anymore.
though. That's the
It
thing.
is. People were like, you played at work, that's sus. So I said, okay, fine. Then I won't respond to chat when I'm at work unless I'm on a break. And that's exactly what I started doing. You can't have it both ways. You want me to be sus because I said I'm not going to respond at work and then
That's not
respond
why
when
I
I'm at
think you're
work?
sus.
So I can't, so
Did
people
I
can change their
miss a
mind
thing?
about
Did
me back
someone
and forth, but I can't change my mind about other people back and forth.
did I miss something? Did someone tell Hells they can't respond to people at work?
I don't know.
So I guess my thing with the tit for tat.
No, I said I
reason-
decided that I was gonna focus on my workday instead of the game because the last time I said I was gonna not respond during work and did, it came off sus. So then I decided to focus on my real life.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Go
Just
for it.
you mentioned you feel like you're the only one who's you said, am I not allowed to like change who I'm sus about? Which you can, and like I changed and I got attacked. Like anybody can change who they're sus about. But people are going to question it, and you have to have a reason that's valid. So I'm not saying I don't think anyone for anybody. If you want to change who you're sus about, do it. Like, but just make sure you have valid reasons to do so.
And
I
right now,
agree.
it just feels like
It's
my
the way.
valid,
Sorry.
your reasonings to be sus of me, and I don't mean to like invalidate them, but it doesn't even seem like there's a reason. Jess, go ahead. I see your hand up.
Yeah, I just want to request that like if we can try to use hands, maybe if we have something to say, because then that might make it more organized and people who have a harder time cutting in, then they can still get their shit said.
That works for me. I just don't know how to put my hand up. So
Yeah, you click on your screen and then where it says
Oh.
reactions, you can raise your hand. Or you can do it like that, yeah.
Oh,
I
I
just say
see.
this?
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Can I just say this one thing real quick? So I will say, like, and I'm just gonna just get this out of the way. Like, I do think that like there was a conversation. I think it was yesterday when I was asking like your census sales, and you did mention like I was confused why Topher gave points to Jodely, and why Topher was talking about giving candy to Jodely, and then right after that, like 5 minutes later, you did bring up being suspicious of Topher, and I was like, oh, well, it's like,
Did
isn't
they
that
mention me
like
at all? Did they mention me at all, Michael?
on that call? That was yesterday. I
They
think
don't
you
even.
and Topher were brought up, yeah.
Okay.
Probably not because also again, like between Wednesday and Friday, the chat got shut down and then I woke up this morning to like almost 1,000 messages. So I think I'm allowed to like read through those and have my opinion change between
you're allowed
3
to,
days worth of
100%.
time.
But I'm a faithful, and you know that because you're a traitor. You had to hit. Oh, I don't know.
Go ahead, Topher. Go ahead, Topher.
Yeah, I don't know how to. I don't know where the hand button is. I don't
The
have a raised
reactions, it
hand.
says reactions at the bottom.
Okay. So I don't see reactions. Oh, react. Okay, perfect. Anyway, the reason that for two things. First off, Hales, one of the reasons that you listed for your sus on Evan was that you thought it was sus that he was sussing you. Evan's not like the only one that has sussed you for this entire like for the last two rounds. It's been a common theme, so I wouldn't necessarily pin that all on Evan. Two, it was brought up whether or not, like, why I gave Jodie the candy, and I think I've been a pretty strong advocate earlier in the challenge of like we need to work together to try to average 11. I'm willing to show that I'm willing to work with people that I am like ops with right now to be able to like make this challenge work. Like it's a team effort. Like you have to set aside the game to work. Obviously, that is not the group conscience. I am outvoted when it comes to that. So I'm okay with that. But I'd already submitted because, and I didn't wait around for 18 people to come to a decision of how this game should be played just to find out that nobody wanted to do it that way. So that is my reasoning for why I did that. And I've explained that to a couple other people, but we're here at the roundtable, so I'll explain it now.
And I did the same thing, and I gave candy to people who voted me last time because I thought they were faithfuls. Now I'm second guessing myself.
Okay, so I feel like this kind of just got missed a little bit. Scooter, you brought up that, your sus has changed and you got jumped for it. I think it's just like the whole ZZ versus you thing now. I don't know if it's giving like traitor on traitor, like why you two switched like susses onto each other. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
No, it's a valid question. Yeah. No, I don't know. I felt like I was kind of replaying our the one-on-one I had was easy. Well, I guess it was two. Like there was three of us. Jamie was there, and then Jess. But it was just I remembered when, and I didn't even really want to bring this up because one, I don't want it to seem like I was flipping, and I'm not even like positive. It was just like a gut feeling, and I didn't actually have the facts for it. So whenever Zizi and I were together and we were trying to get the other group, Zizi just had mentioned something about I'm having FOMO because the other group's all talking, and I was just kind of like, oh, like yeah, me too. Like we should talk to them. I didn't actually have FOMO. Like I was fine just chatting. And then like it made me think like maybe she's worried about being seen with one person and or she's worried that they're scheming about something that has to do with her. And it isn't anything specifically with ZZ. It's just like if I would have been with anybody in a one-on-one and they had the same comments, I probably would have had the thoughts. And then just like I know ZZ, we both were getting like a shitload of heat yesterday. You got a lot, like you actually even got votes before at the round table, which I don't know how many people's votes went your way strictly because of.
I think it was like 4.
No, I didn't mean the actual count. Like I don't know how many of those votes were because of what Jess and Mike brought up at the round table, or like people came in already being like, I'm gonna vote for ZZ. And so I know you already had a lot of heat on you and probably wanted to distance yourself from me because there was heat at both of us. But I felt like I was doing all the defending and having to come up with everything. Maybe, but I could have been wrong, but I did a lot of it today and like last night, or whatever the night, not last night because it was the stuff was blocked, but the night right after the roundtable before it ended. And so like I don't know, like I just felt like I was kind of defending you, and I felt like I wasn't getting the defense, and maybe I
To be
just thought I
fair,
would
I
have
was
getting it.
also getting and I'm sorry, but I was getting the brunt of the heat. Like
I
I was
know, I
one
know.
vote away from getting banished, and I had to put a lot of my mental energy into defending myself. I'm sorry that
I know, I
you
get
feel
it.
like hurt by that or
Yeah.
whatever, but I did find it weird today how you put me on your sus list, like
So
seemingly out of
yeah.
kind of nowhere,
Yeah,
because we had
and
been catching a lot of heat together, and then today it was just like, oh yeah, ZZ, and it just like to me it feels like it's jumping on some sort of a ZZ bandwagon to prove that you're not a traitor.
It's not that. I also unveiled earlier that I was like sus on Sid, which I think was new to everybody. Like I was actually, yeah, hey Sid. Like I was kind of becoming more confident enough to actually say these new names that like no one had said Sid really when I said Sid. Like I was kind of scared to actually say it because I didn't want people to be like, oh, why are you saying Sid now? Um, and so like I was just being a little more confident. I mean, it was real scary fucking putting Jess and Mike on a list, knowing what would come my way as soon as I did. And like everyone saw what happened. So like I was just like, I'm gonna just fucking man up and like stick to what I'm believing right now of like who I'm suspicious of. Um and that's why. Like that's why it kind of came up. Like I had slight stuff after the whole situation, but it wasn't enough to consider you making my top. And then just after everything that's transpired since then, it just pushed it up. I mean, I don't think
Okay.
you're the most suspicious person out of my list. I mean, you were fourth. So
I'm not gonna lie, I do think you're one of the most suspicious people for me now.
which is understandable. I get it. I kind of threw you under the bus.
And that's fair.
Why
So
do
That's
you
not even
think
like
that?
that's not
Zizi?
even the whole like reason, like just like necessarily that you threw me under the bus and I'm like feeling some type of way about that. It's just like the way it came up today was just a little random to me.
I had talked about it in some voice chats that unfortunately you just weren't there for, and I wish I could have like brought it up to you in person the same way I did Sid before anything.
Evan, you can go.
Yes. I just had a question for you, Scooter. And this is
Mhm.
pertaining to you, but like also like Hales. Are you not sus of them anymore? Because they said they're
Am
sus of you now.
am I not sus of Hales?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna be sus of Hales just because they're sus of me. Like that doesn't change anything, but I am
I mean, do you
become
feel like it's weird
but
though
I
that
no,
like you did vote for them first roundtable and then like their actions, whatever
yeah,
your reasoning
which
was, but then now that post roundtable they're sus of you?
yeah. So actually message in my prod chat earlier, whenever Hales was speaking that like I was pretty sure who I was gonna vote for, but like based on how this conversation's going, like Hales is actually climbing back on the list. Originally it was just like Hales activity that was like the personal activity just didn't line up with game time availability. And then like yeah, Hales has been kind of true to her word of like telling people when she's not available rather than saying I'm not available and then is on every call. Um, and then I kind of lost us, but just like I don't know, the tit for tat thing, like seeing Hales coming after you now is kind of interesting to me. Either, and I don't want this to sound mean or anything, either like Hales doesn't know who to go after, because Hales is a traitor, or Hales is just like doesn't really know what to do right now. And so Hales is just trying to join the crowd and just pick something and go with it and have a reason, which is like fine. I know Hales that you've been busy. And there's been like 1,000 messages in the chat probably since you checked it last and you can't keep up. Um, but I could see that being something of just picking somebody at random, but I could also see you are a traitor and you're just going tit for tat because now you have a history of going tit for tat. Like that's a like if something happens once,
Because
it's
I
an
state my
occurrence. If it,
opinion after everybody else. That's the only reason you're saying that. And this has happened to other people too. It's like the first person to put their sus in the chat is going to have a golden ticket because they're going to be the first opinion out there.
but
And anyone whose list matched them is now sus because you have the same name on yours.
no,
That's
I
not
just
why
take a
I'm
little
saying
more,
it.
I
Like,
just take a little more
well,
time to hear people
Sorry.
out. And some people ask me to be in chats. My
no, it's
opinions
not. It's not
change.
anything about your availability, Hales. That's not anything about that. It's just I still haven't heard a valid reason for Evan being sus.
Like, don't get like sorry, Topher, sorry, Maddie. Sorry, I don't mean to be like this, but like I welcome sus. Like Sid gave me sus. If anyone has sus on me, like please bring it to me. But there has been nothing brought to me until today. So I just find it so fucking sus that you're gonna do that. Like, it's just crazy. Anyways, Topher, go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
go.
just can't ignore the glaring statement. Zizi, did you and Scott have some sort of like prearranged agreement that when Scott put your name on his list, you felt like he's throwing you under the bus? What bus did
No,
he throw you under? Like, why did Scott's sus of you affect you more than any other sus?
it wasn't that I felt like it was me being thrown under the bus necessarily. It's just the fact that we've been kind of paired together and sussed together in this way that it just felt really random that I was now on his sus list. It just felt like he was like being like, "Oh yeah, I sus ZZ too, guys." And it was just like, "Okay."
I just think the vernacular of threw me under the bus
I
makes
wasn't the
me
one who said
feel
that. He
No,
said
that was
threw under
me.
the bus
Yeah,
first.
that was me. No, I think it's just because of
we
that.
threw each other under
Like,
the bus.
I mean, we because we're both getting heat, and now we're both throwing each other. Like, we're both like,
Well,
I put her
he
on my
put me on
list.
his list first, and I saw that, and it made me look at him some type of way because I was like, "What?" It just is odd to
So,
me.
so would you, if I wouldn't have put you on my list, would you have put me on your list?
Probably not, because when you put me on your list, it made me look at you sideways because we had been kind of sussed out together these last couple days. So
But like, we're getting upset at Hales that she's going tit for tat, but
it doesn't.
you're only picking me because I picked you.
It's not even that though. It's okay, whatever.
No, I'm just genuinely curious. Like, if everyone's going to jump on Hales for it, how come it's not the same thing?
I don't even see it as tit for tat though, because it just felt like it was like a random, like I'm jumping on this bandwagon of ZZ. It's already here, and I'm being sus with her. So if I throw her under, then it's fine if I do it. Like it just. Do you see what I mean? Like that's just what it looks like for me.
I'll let Zach go because he has his hand up.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to say there's been this notion of like, ban or like pseudo bandwagoning. I'm not directing this towards anyone specifically, but since this was brought up, I also want to bring attention because it needs to be addressed because I like whenever people have their own opinions and everything like that. Eventually people are going to have their own opinions. But before last roundtable, there was literally verbatim words saying, well, I just want to make sure that I'm voting with the majority. That needs to be addressed because this is not fucking Survivor. So, Wesley, can you please explain why you said that?
I will say I did not mean to word it in that way. I did not intend to. I don't recall explicitly saying we need a vote in the majority, but I can understand the things I was saying. I think what I more meant was I didn't feel confident at that time in the ZZ discussion, so I went with something that was already kind of discussed on about being potentially Caitlyn either being an inactive traitor who we could not read, or being a faithful of no use to anyone that they would just be kept around forever. I did not I did not mean there was like a strategy vote going on of like there was no like gained up from my perspective coordinated plan to just vote Caitlyn other than kind of been vaguely discussed throughout the day in the same we were discussing all the other suspicions and all the other concerns. It was not a survivor type mindset necessarily from my perspective. I admit I did not word it that well earlier.
Your turn, Mike.
Okay, two things. So one, I think it's interesting that you're bringing up tit for tat, Scooter, when I feel like you also just did tit for tat with Jess and I, as well as just doing not a tit for tat, but kind of throw in your words, not mine, throwing ZZ under the bus when you literally had no indication of suspecting ZZ before. But my question actually stands for ZZ. I was really wondering, like, ZZ, I haven't really heard you really defend anyone but yourself this entire time. Like I have watched you on these calls and when we talking about people and you have really just kind of agreed with everyone's thoughts on different people and never really aside from defending yourself, um you've never really defended anyone else at all. And that's something I wanted to address.
And that's valid. And thank you for bringing that up. For me, it's just like I feel like because of how the last roundtable caught me, I've kind of felt like I was in this mode of just having to like speak up for myself, if that makes sense, just because my name is very much in circulation. But I don't know if there's somebody who I feel like not I've not necessarily like defended, but I've been on calls with a few people before and I've spoken up for like just Jodely, saying that I think Jodely is a faithful. I probably could have spoken up on it more, but like there are people who I do think are faithfuls, and Jodely is one of those people who has had sus on them. And I feel like I've had sus on Gluck grow like a little bit more through this round, but even in the last round when we were beefing, I was like, I think Gluck's a faithful. Like there are people who I've said I think that they're a faithful.
Um, I'll speak. I mean, I don't know. I'd like to hear from like some other people. What do we think about this whole like throwing under the bus or Hell's going tit for tat? I mean, Hells, have you ever watched Traitors before?
I think I've addressed this before. I'm not going to re-answer it.
Well,
Wait,
I'm
what?
asking.
So
I
I'm gonna assume
haven't
the
heard
answer
it.
is no. So
I've said I'm new to Traitors, the game and the show, multiple times. I'm sick of saying it. I'm sick of being sus about it. I'm sick of it coming back up. Yes. Yeah. And I'm sick of being like piled on for once again having to say I'm new. I'm done saying it. It's not going to come up again. I'm not going to answer it
well, let's
again.
just banish you then. Then you don't have to say it anymore.
I feel like we should be open to answering any questions that do come up at the time that they do come up, though I will say that. Sorry for interjecting.
Yeah. I'd like to comment on the whole tit for tat thing. The I think what's being missed is it's not just about the tit for tat, right? Like what is happening is that when the tat comes in, there seems to be a missing of pointing out the either behavioral or actionable things that would lead to believing this person may be a traitor, right? You can name somebody that like also named you on the list, but you have to be able to give reasons as to, okay, well, it was because they said this thing that is being pointed out, or they did this action that goes beyond just they put your name on the list, right? Like you have to be able to say, okay, I'm starting to believe that like, and this is where I struggle on the Hales tit for tat with Evan specifically, because I don't know personally, I have not heard from or observed anybody else give me any reason to believe that Evan is a traitor or that Evan has done something that I personally can latch onto and say is a traitor. I'm open to hearing about that, but I haven't seen it. Now, with ZZ and Scott's tit for tat, it seems a lot more combative because it's like now they seem actually genuinely frustrated with each other at the fact that either one of them would have caved to the group and said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and put your name on here to deflect from myself. Because it's not just about being grouped together in the sus, that like because people have grouped people together in sort of like I'm sussing these couple of people, but it like you guys seem to really like be at odds with the fact that the group conscious is sort of closing in. So I'd like for that to like I gotta know what's separating the two of you right now and why this is so I guess not personal, but you know, happening.
Yeah, I mean, I was typing it out in the thing, but I can just speak to it. I mean, I feel like I gave valid reasons of why my opinion on ZZ changed based on just the gameplay. And it you know, I use the term throwing under the bus because when it first happened, I was defending ZZ, right? Like along with mainly to defend myself, but ZZ was part of that defense of, I mean, even earlier today, I slightly defended ZZ when people made comments about the lights again. And I was like, ZZ posted a screenshot of a org from like a month ago and she had lights on, right? So I me changing my mind, and she didn't know it was coming, to me is throwing somebody under the bus. You know, if I wouldn't have told Sid today that I was suspicious of her in person, and then I just posted a list of like, I'm suspicious of Sid. In my opinion, I would be throwing Sid under the bus as well. That's just how I use the term. If that's not, yeah, go ahead, Gluck.
I just want to know like the exact like it was earlier today sometime where you just decided or something drew you to the conclusion that ZZ could be a traitor. Can I ask exactly what that moment was or when it occurred throughout the day today?
So yeah. So it started originally, like the thought started during the dead period, thinking about like just like replaying everything with ZZ's comment of just like having FOMO that we weren't in the big group. That was like that had stayed in my mind. And then it was just really like the whole not feeling like I'm getting any just like the realization I'm not getting any defense. It's me defending myself or both of us, and not getting any of it towards me. Like I don't remember ZZ saying like, "Oh yeah, Scooter and I this and that."
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure I have said that
Jamie
though. I've
defended
said
me.
like the thing about the red lights theory after it happened, that it was because you saw that I had red lights on like the opening night call and you were like, I have that too.
No,
So
no,
I
no,
feel like
I
have
no, I
spoken up for that.
yeah, you did. No, I agree, and I like I mentioned that like from at the beginning, but I feel like today with seeing like there was a lot of chat where I was getting like thrown at. Um, I just like felt kind of like like powerless. Like I thought you would be able to
So did you think
come.
of this theory that I could be a traitor today or during the dead period? I'm confused.
The FOMO part was during the dead period. Like I was thinking on that component of it, and then today, once everything opened back up, there was just new stuff. If today wouldn't have happened, I would not have added you to my list.
I
Like
will
just the things
say
that
I
happened
also
today.
don't think that a FOMO comment makes me look necessarily like
I
suspicious.
I I don't think just the comment alone does. It was just everything after that, like everything a culmination of what I've described. Um, which is why you weren't on my original sus list. And well, that hadn't happened yet, but I didn't really bring it up until later today. And you were low on the sus list. I still think you're pretty low, and there's people I suspect more than you, but I just am sus of you.
And that's valid. I'm just saying the whole behavior around it today from you has made me sus of you when I wasn't before. In fact, you were kind of like cleared in my mind for a while over the whole red lights thing. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I mean, the red lights thing is nothing to do with anything. I mean, if you're suspicious of me because I've stopped defending you and I've made you suspicious, then that's
It wasn't that
okay.
you stopped defending me. It just felt like you kind of were like, I'm suspicious of ZZ now. And it was just like out of nowhere, where I don't think you
Yeah.
gave any kind of indication earlier that you were ever sus
Yeah.
of me, I guess.
No, and
Maybe.
I should have told you in to your face like I did Sid, and I apologize for that.
Oh,
So
it's whatever. That's
um
fine.
Can I
what's up,
ask?
Evan? You can go next.
You said that ZZ wasn't on the top of your list, and honestly, haven't looked at everyone's sus's list, but like, who are your other sus's or the people above
My
you?
yeah. My top is Sydney. Um and then I had Jess and Michael, kind of like a Jess slash Michael. I don't know who I suspect more. I kind of was viewing them as like a grouping. Um, I can, if you want, I can speak to why. I mean, I typed it out, but I can speak
I
to
mean,
why
no, it's
if
up
you
to
need
you.
it.
I'm just, it'd be hard for me to think of it as a grouping more. Say, if anything, I'd
It,
probably.
it was mainly like so I'll just give two examples, quick ones. Like with the lights thing, Jess is the one who saw us, and then but Mike, she told Mike about it, and Mike brought it up. And to me, Jess is very confrontational. Anytime she catches wind of anything that's fishy, she's right there on it. Like super smart, brings it up immediately. And I was just curious why, in this case, she did not bring it up right away. Why she wanted somebody else to bring it up. And I think, if I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, Jess, but I think I remember it kind of being like you saying, I don't know if it was the right time to bring it up at the round table. But in my mind, like why wouldn't you bring it up there? Because that's a big thing to have happen. And if people were already suspect on ZZ, you could be adding even more evidence to ZZ. So that was just that was a big thing of just like, why weren't you confrontational in that at that period, and why did you want Mike to be the one that was confrontational?
Yeah, so since I was mentioned, I can go ahead and hop in here. The only thing I said to Michael when I DM'd him in the Zoom call here was that I was like, hey, I'd like to talk after the roundtable. And because I don't want to just like go off of a whim and like bring up something that's going to sound like just red lights, which everybody seems to just keep thinking that it has to do only with the red lights when it does not. I like to have real reasons for bringing up my accusations. Michael said he wanted to be messy, and then he brought it up, and then I was in a position where I had to talk about it. It's not that I'm not confrontational. I'm hella confrontation. I love confrontation. But yeah, it only happened right before the roundtable, so I wanted to marinate on it a little bit, but it came up, so I had to speak on it. So we talked about it.
That's all very fair. And
It's true. I can verify. I also saw it and I was like, I want to bring it up. I don't care. I felt like bringing it up and I decided to bring it up randomly because I suspect ZZ before the roundtable? Yeah, I did. And so I was like, I don't care. I'm going to bring it up now because I feel like it. And that's what I decided to do. And I probably, just didn't want to. And maybe, I should have listened. But like, I was like, I don't care. Jess told me this. I'm going to bring it up. And that's what I did. And so like, I'll acknowledge that did happen. And Jess did have reservations about that, and I was the one who didn't care. So I'll take ownership of that. I did have a question. Sorry, it was about the main chat real quick. Yeah. So again, I don't want to spend too much time on this red light theory. I don't want to at all. But it's a question for ZZ. Like, how because you said you originally cleared Scooter because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Why
wasn't, like,
though? Because even if
cleared,
you're caught in
it
the
was
same
just, like,
theory, though,
because-
like that doesn't necessarily mean that someone's cleared just because like that theory is out there. So I
shouldn't have said cleared. I should have said like lower on my list, like a lot, like towards the bottom. But it was just because I thought it was a dumbass theory, and there wasn't really anything there. That was just my legitimate feelings on it.
Okay.
I think cleared was just a bad choice of words.
Okay, fair.
I also I don't see anyone's hand up, so I do want to jump in. I asked Scott this about ZZ, and I'd like to return the favor and ask ZZ about Scott.
What's good?
Like the first piece of evidence or the moment when you started to realize that you thought Scott was a traitor.
I think the moment I realized honestly was earlier today in the main chat. Like I was on the call, like I'm not on the call when it happened, but I joined the call shortly after like the whole thing transpired and I saw it. And I saw him just put me there and it just felt like a random like and I feel like I've explained this a few times before, but it just felt like he put me on his list without any indication before that I was sus for him, and it just looked very like I'm gonna latch on to this or I'm gonna like push ZZ out there to be like, oh look, here's the other red lights bitch. Like she's a traitor. I'm not. Like that's kind of where I was at with that.
So the sus is that Scott put you on his list. That's when you realized Scott was a traitor.
I guess essentially more or less. But like it wasn't just for the basic reason of that. Like it was just like the layers in from the previous round going into that.
Can I, if you guys have more questions for me, and I'll answer them, but I just want to make sure everyone gets to talk this roundtable. There was a lot of people who didn't even talk last roundtable, and I want to make sure everyone gets the chance. Like, if you have questions for me, I'll answer them. But if like, I think Gluck, you've talked some more. I was thinking about you originally. I want to make sure you get to speak up. Sid, if you have anything, I know you haven't really gotten the chance to add much. Just anybody else.
I was gonna say, yeah, I do want to give time for like people that have not spoken as much, and I kind of want to. I'm not trying to redirect this back to Hales, but Hales, I feel like it's been a lot of defending and not asking other people questions, which I also think it's kind of sus that you're just defending yourself. So this is a time that if you have other questions for people to ask them, because silence is suspicion. But that was not directed just towards Hales, like Wesley, Allie, Sanam, anyone that really hasn't spoken much. Like, the floor is yours. Because also keep in mind, if we stop
I
talking,
think honestly, I have been listening. I did talk a little bit, but I do think mainly the concerns they've had have been kind of addressed, and I don't have anything unique to bring to the table right now.
Well, who do you think's a traitor?
I think I've said right now my primary suspect is ZZ. Honestly, I think to me, the thing that makes the most sense is banishing ZZ. And then if that turns out to be right, we kind of go off that information, that kind of train of logic, and see where that goes of like with the other people associated with her that's sus. And if it turns out to be wrong, we kind of go back to the drawing board, refigure out, like kind of also and question the information that made the accuracy of the information that made ZZ sus to begin with.
Can I just say that I really don't like sitting here and saying like what our idea is about voting, because then that just happens to have people bandwagon on. So now that you said that, I feel like people are now going to jump to conclusions.
I'm sorry, I did not mean. I
No,
mean,
it's fine. I'm just
I
saying,
didn't mean to
I
do
just
that in
don't
that
like
way. I
visualizing
just
where it's
assume we're
gonna go.
discussing like this is this thing we're doing right before we're voting. So I assume the logic was to discuss what we're
It's
voting, what
okay.
we're doing.
Yeah, just don't like talk about who you're voting from now on because it's hurts the process.
That was
Okay,
my fault for wording the question in
Sid,
a directed manner.
it's fine.
let's have Sid talk.
Hi. Okay, first of all, I'm so sorry. I look insane right now.
Are you Garfield?
Yes. Oh my God. Thank you, Scott. Let's go. Okay, sorry. Okay, so I sent my sus list earlier today, and I basically said some variation of um Jamie, Jess, and then Evan, ZZ, Scott, because the whole Scott and ZZ of it all is a mess. Like, I think we can all agree this is a mess, and I think we will get the most information by looking at those two, because I feel like right now that is where there's the most contention. Um, Mainly, I kind of just wanted to talk about my sus on Evan because I do think that that was a new one that not a lot of people have heard. And here's the thing, it's not very thought out, guys. Don't expect some thesis because I don't have that. Basically, my suspicion with Evan just stems from the fact that he is so hell bent on Hales. I feel like that's really the only suspicion that I've heard come from Evan. And I just want to make sure that like we're not getting tunnel visioned, because at least for me, the way that I have perceived a lot of Hales's behavior is just misinterpreting things, not understanding tone, not realizing like when people are joking with their friends and what's serious. And so that's just where my suspicion comes from a little bit. That's really all I have.
Love you, girl. I'll take it. It's fine. I don't know. I think the only resolution to that is just to banish Hales. I don't think like I really don't see the problem with it at this point. I mean, logically, they aren't providing us much anymore even. So like I mean, I do believe that they're a traitor. So like let's banish them. Um I'm just kind of in that mindset. I mean, I kind of talked about it earlier. I'm kind of feel like no one's listening. Like everyone's like caught up on like Scooter, ZZ, Jess, whatever, all of that stuff. But I'm like, Hill's the sin right here, and I think that they're a traitor. Um I don't know. I mentioned other people too. It's fine. Like I'm not like I'm just very strong and passionate, and like that's they're the one that makes the most sense to me. So I'm like just ready, go, 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 very passionate about it. So I'm ready to just for them to flip trader already and just get them out the door is kind of where I'm at. So yeah.
I want to add that I do think Evan has had valid points on Hales, and I feel like more people do defend Hales than Hales themselves.
Yes. I do
And
want to add to that too. And I'm like I don't know. I just feel like misinterpretation of tone and then like the other reasons why you gave Sid is just not enough for me to sit there and be like, oh, well, they're obviously a faithful now. Like I could have just been misinterpreting. Like, I don't know. We all saw Carolyn on Trader. I mean, if you watched the show, you all saw Carolyn on season 3 of Traitors. That girl was a fucking whirlwind of emotions and just, all that. And
And
she was like the best trader in there. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say Danielle Reyes was the best because she was not. But like like it's like right here, like it's like very clear to me logically. um And I'm just not, I'm gonna think logically about it and not emotions. And it's hard for me because sometimes I think I'm a fucking bitch for not looking at it like that. But like, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. So I'm like,
Mhm.
that's just where I'm at.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I like 100% think that Hales is a faithful and that like Hales is clear. I still think that Hales is someone that people should be looking at and that suspicions are valid for. I'm just saying like the stuff with them not necessarily understanding a joke and stuff like that, that's not necessarily a red flag for me. Maybe it should be more of a red flag,
I mean, I have a
but
lot more on them than just like misinterpreting a joke. So it's just like there's so
no, I
much that
know,
they
but
have.
like
So yeah. No, I get it. I get it.
Sanam put her write up in the chat, so I'm just gonna read it. She said, I'm up here in the chat. Honestly, I'm sus of the Scooter ZZ interactions and I'm not really sure what to do about it. I'm torn between the person I feel 2% more sure is a traitor as opposed to who I think would give me more info. And I think I'm going for the one I'm more sus of because I think it would be better to vote for who I believe is a traitor more, and that will still give us information. I do have suspicions elsewhere, specifically Jamie, because of what I've heard from the Maddie interaction and hearing Zach's side. But I think that is, I do not know how to say that word. Tertiary.
Tertiary.
Thank you.
Tertiary.
Tertiary to the weird dynamic we have been discussing. I get the sus on Hales, but I stand by my assessment that Scooter is giving similar energy. And while I think you're awesome, I feel like you would make a great, likable trader that can change minds after conversations. Also, everyone being willing to vote Hales last round is still something that clears them a tiny bit to me. But then on the other hand, the fact that we wound up voting Caitlyn, who not many people thought was a traitor, is also kind of damning. And then Allie said, so Scooter and I believe Jodie voted for each other, and I wanted to know why. It felt like votes were thrown on each of them last roundtable. It hasn't been brought up as much. Like, I am sus of Jodie and Scooter. A few others have said the same, and it feels odd how that they both voted each other. It's Topher. LOL, sorry.
Yeah, Topher and Jodie.
Am I allowed to respond to that? So is I'm confused as to what, like, I have not dropped my sus on Jodie. I've talked to various people throughout the day about Jodie, about how I think that, again, Jodie came to the round table holding everything in, has yet to reveal anything really today. And then the only other thing that Jodie could do when Jodie realized that they were getting pressed, and I was part of the, ones pressing them, was to then try to flip it onto myself, and then again, this whole tit for tat narrative, and then went through and read a bunch of my accusations against Jamie, which I had already brought up several accusations to Jamie and wasn't going to use the roundtable for that, like I had discussed previously, because I had all day to do so. So my sus has not changed. Jodie was still on my list today that I sent publicly. So like Jodie's still there. I think right now the more clear evidence happens to be between ZZ and Scott. And so I don't feel that it's necessary to derail the roundtable by saying, hey guys, let's take our eyes off of this very obvious situation, especially after the kerfuffle of the thrown under the bus. To then go that direction. So that's where, no, Jodie's still going to come up in my conversations. Hell, Jamie is still going to come up in my conversations. But for right now at the round table, no, Jodie is not dropped, just not a priority. Did that answer your question, Allie?
She said yes. Scooter, I think she direct the question?
Which one?
The one in the chat.
No, it was between Jodie and Topher. Unless there's a different question I'm not seeing.
It's just me being dyslexic.
It says, sorry, I mixed you up, Scooter, because we're both straight white men. Yeah.
Straight white man who needs them?
Married men too.
Yeah. And also, Topher, I don't think me using term thrown on the bus it's not a kerfuffle on my part. It's genuinely, I know I'm hitting ZZ after not telling her I was going to put her on my sus list by putting her on my sus list. To me, that's just hitting her out of nowhere, and she didn't realize it. Like I said, I told Sid beforehand, and I would have told ZZ beforehand, but I was never on calls with her today. So
Just
I would have. No, I get it. No, it's valid. It's a valid thing to point out. If someone else said it, I probably would point it out too. So, but I'm just gonna say why I said it, and we can move on from that, so we don't linger on it.
Is that a thing people are doing? Is everybody going to the person they sus first before putting them on the sus list? Or are they just throwing out?
I know that's just something I like to do, because I like to give somebody a chance to explain themselves, like in person, if possible. I like to just like look and have a conversation with someone when I'm telling them I'm suspicious about you. Like, here's why, and then I'll write it out so the rest of the chat can see. So,
Does anyone know if Jodelie's free? Anyone? Oh,
I remember two.
I know Gluck was one of them. I forget the other two.
Okay, yeah. So Gluck was who I was forgetting. It was
Was it
Michael.
Topher and I? Yeah.
Yeah, and Topher.
Okay. The
Okay.
Gluck, Topher, and I. Okay.
thank you. I've added to the sheet.
Is our sheet filled with everybody's threes now?
Yeah, we have everyone now.
Scooter, I promise you I didn't use spell check. I promise. I promise.
Oh, I'm not gonna fall asleep. I'm just very annoyed.
okay. Oh, okay.
I just feel like, I don't know, we're all sitting here asking questions and having a dialogue, and Hills is just sitting here silent, not asking anything. And I'm just like, okay, if we do Scooter, it's easy here. What's gonna come next week? Is it gonna be the same shit? Whichever one doesn't go here, it's the next one, and then like just a whole. I don't know. I'm just kind of over it. I don't know. Maybe it's just the tunnel vision so hard, but like I said, Scooter, to you 2 days ago, I was sus of you. Like I'm opening my. I have different directions to yes, but Hales is someone that I'm the most confident about, and I just feel like people are like, what is it that we're not trying, like, willing to like gain traction on? Like, which part am I missing? If
I
anyone
think for
wants to
me,
speak up.
it's just how it just escalated, just 0 to 100 between Scooter, and ZZ today for
Which
me.
I understand, but like, I'm just talking about moving forward. Like, are we going to address it? Are we just gonna let it keep going? Like, what's?
I feel like we are going to address it with one of these three leaving tonight. I don't know who it's going to be, but I think we're going to get some serious answers tonight, which will help us regardless of who leaves.
Mm-hmm.
So
Michael,
I think that's a good point. Like, Hales, do you have any questions for anyone?
like they've been silent listening this whole time.
Yeah, I'm also like sick, so I'm trying to save my voice. But so like I feel like since I started this game, everybody seems to think I don't have my own thoughts because I just don't jump in right away and post it like at 6 a.m. when I wake up in the morning. And like every time I've posted my own thoughts based on how I see people's gameplay, I'm accused of bandwagoning.
Who is
Like
accused you of bandwagoning?
at this point, probably everybody, because I've had multiple crossover names on both of my sus lists. And
I
every
don't
time
think
I
I've
post
ever
my
accused
own
you of
thoughts,
bandwagoning.
every time I post my own thoughts after somebody else speaks, I'm less legitimate than everybody.
But
Has
do you have
anyone-
any like specific questions for people you think are traitors? Like, do you actually have any questions for anyone? Like, legitimate, like
Like,
actual
I'm your first
questions?
sus. Ask me a question.
Because I feel like you brought up points and I defend myself, and you said that I don't defend
Yeah, no,
myself
I said
enough.
all you do is defend yourself. You're not sitting here asking other people questions, is what a faithful would do.
Okay.
Y'all, I can't. I like really.
I'm just
Sorry,
so
my brain is not up on it. I've had a fever for like 3 days.
what
I know,
is
but you also just said you were like making notes on like what you were gonna say, so I'm just confused now. Like it's things that are different now. And I'm like really trying not to be a bitch. And I feel like I'm coming off as a bitch. And if anyone thinks I'm being a bitch, then tell me, even you Hills. But like this is the game. Like we're supposed to be calling people out, supposed to be being direct and ask those probing questions, and that's what I'm doing. So this is not me like anything on like a personal attack. Whether you're a faithful or you're a traitor, which in this case I think you're a traitor, I'm almost certain you are a traitor. Like it's just that's my job in this game, you know.
Yeah, no, I understand. I guess what bothered me is, are you just associating me as a traitor because of the way votes went last time? And by the way, I didn't discuss who I was voting for the last time. And I
No.
know that with the murders that happened, the order of things looked super suspicious. And I've legitimately tried to like be present when I can to like share my list and say like, hey, I really think these people are faithful, but it really starts sussing me out that if I feel some reason that someone's faithful and then like I stick my neck out to defend them and then
But who have you defended besides yourself?
honestly probably no one because I've been dogpiled like 3 times. I can't remember. I didn't rewatch the Roundtable one, but they're the first Roundtable before this, but um I want to say that there was like stuff thrown on like Keaton and maybe like Katie. And I have said before, like Katie said multiple times, she's just a quieter person. And so like I would try to help her. Like I'd be like, do you have any thoughts to share on like VC calls? Not to throw like shade off me, but to just like give her an opening because she said multiple times she doesn't like to like interrupt people in the middle of a thought. So like I feel like that point on her early on, I did stick up for her. I was like, she's letting people finish their thoughts and then trying to come in and say her piece. I mean, she can't be here tonight, but like I did stick up for her the first time around because I think being too quiet is a little silly. Like some of us listen and try to formulate opinions based on multiple factors. And so, yeah, we're quiet because we're listening and letting people finish their full thought. It's like, how can I sit here and take notes and figure things out if I'm constantly interrupting people?
I mean, we just went through like
Well,
half of this round table and you didn't say anything, so that should have been more than enough time. But like I don't know. Everyone, I just feel like this is clearly a traitor. Like I get it, but like I feel like this is very straightforward and we could almost just knock a leg off the chair right now. Like, I don't know. If not, then next time, but like this is very clear to me at this point. Does anyone feel like they have any objections? I'm not saying where I'm voting. Um, but like this, I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um, I will say I came in to this knowing who I was going to vote for, and your questioning has gave me different options. Made me actually think more about things.
Like we
That
could
is that that
genuinely, like this could genuinely just fuck the traders up by just getting one of them out. And I'm almost certain at this point now, I'm like 90% sure Hales is a traitor. And whether Scott's a traitor, whether ZZ's a traitor, whether they're both fucking traitors, we're getting a fucking traitor, you know? I'm just I really don't know what else more. I I'm pretty sure everyone knows where the fuck I'm voting tonight. I'm voting for the person who I think is most likely a traitor. And I feel like the things that have been presented, the actions, the behaviors, the things I've called out tonight should speak volumes. I'm done over it. Yeah.
Mhm.
And with that, it is now time to vote. Everybody go to your prod chat at production. You cannot change your vote once you vote. Do not keep talking so we can keep track of everything. You may talk on here, just not about the vote or anything. Thank you.
Shout out to all my dogs at the crib.
Do y'all want me to keep track of the votes in the chat? Okay.
Shout out to Chanel because I when they just merged tonight and when making all of their VCs, I spelled Chanel's name literally 10 different ways and she called me out on that. So
I just don't get why nobody can spell Chanel's name right.
I don't
Not
know.
It is
too
not
much on
that
my. That's my bestie. I would have cussed you out for that. No lie.
I
right
know she
there.
is what that bitch. I understand that, but like
No, she's that girl.
ugh.
It's that girl. LMPO.
Oh my god.
Chanelly Poo. Shout out to Chanelly Poo.
Shout out to Allie, that girl.
Michael, I don't even think Chanel left.
You said that girl, that made me think of that.
Shout out to Allie, that girl. Shout out to
I
HLC.
played one game with her and she wasn't even like that awful.
Shout out to HLC.
Were you guys read? Is this the spectators? What are y'all reading?
You can just shout out anybody that you like know and that's like
Oh,
potentially watching, or you just give love to the universe out
Shout
there.
out to Sarah.
shout out, mom. Hi,
Chanel's
mom.
Chanel's been my org bestie for like 5 years now. So
Like, shout out to Rachel Riley. I know she's watching.
Shout out to
Shout out to
Rose.
God and also Jesus.
Wow.
Oh, damn.
Shout out to my animals, Aragon and Christian Grey. Love you too.
Christian Grey.
Oh my god, I love their names.
shout out
Shout
to
out
me.
to
Hope you're enjoying the BL.
Shout out to the Traitors. We will find you.
That's you, bitch.
There are no chairs on this
Can you
call.
imagine? Yes,
Now,
it's
Michael.
me.
Now, Michael, why are you in the bathroom looking in the mirror right now?
That's rich coming from you, dude.
Shout out to Sid's orange, but actually yellow.
Shout out to the
Okay.
traders who I'm probably at least seeing a text of right now. Either text,
I love
profile
that
pic, or
you're a
webcam.
Garfield.
Thank you. I feel
And the
like
Mad, you made your entire Mad Hatter costume in like 24 hours.
Yeah, shout out
Yeah.
to Sydney because I thought you were
That's
Poison Ivy at
crazy, girl.
first.
Like it takes me forever, even when I'm doing like thrifting for
And
cosplays.
for no reason, shout out to Sydney with an S.
No.
Sydney Sweeney?
No, especially
Oh my
not.
god, Cindy with an S.
No.
Is there like
Sid, do you have
beef with-
lasagna?
I do. I'm bringing lasagna to the party I'm
Oh,
going
hell
to.
yeah.
Are you
Like
really?
real edible
Yes.
lasagna? Oh,
Yes.
dude.
Do you have
Wait, that's
specific beef
awesome.
with Sydney with an S?
Yes, because they get their names on keychains and I don't.
Does Sydney with an S get names on keychains?
Yes. Or I also have beef with Cindy's, where it's the N before the D.
Do you have Sydney that spell it with an I?
I mean, there's an I in my name.
But like, let's spell it the I and Y reversed and no E.
Oh, see, that's weird.
SINDUI.
Hey, shout out to DUIs.
Shout out to DUIs.
Say,
shout out to heresy, which is why I said earlier was shout out to God and also Jesus. I'm pretty sure it's technically a heretical statement.
Shout out to Natalie
mean-
Nunn because Baddies USA can't wait. Can't wait for the big three to get humbled. And Natalie Nunn, our queen, our CEO, our baddie
Is
CEO.
this like wrestling shit?
thinking about when Woe Vicky was on Baddies.
Shout out to Wo Vicky because you did have one episode on Baddies where you
I
got beat
fucking
up.
love her. I can't lie. Her fucking tweets send the shit out of me.
All right,
Shout
guys,
out
I have the
to,
votes now. Whenever I randomize the order, y'all will vote in. Whenever I say your name, I will say your vote, and then you'll have a chance to give your reason if you want to, and then we'll move on to the next. First person up is Maddie. Maddie voted for ZZ. Maddie.
I voted Zizi because I feel like, I do think we talked about all three traders tonight, but I feel like, if ZZ for some reason flips faithful, it kind of clears Scooter in a sense. So I'd rather take the shot to get two than just bank it on one person.
All right, next we have is Wesley. Wesley has voted for ZZ. Wesley.
Honestly, I hate to say piling on, but it's very similar logic. I think this is the more likely trader route of kind of the two scenarios going on here. But also, even if she is a faithful, we get a lot of information here tonight that the worse investigating, worth going further in. So I think this is the sense that makes the most choice here.
All right, next we have is Sydney. Sydney voted for ZZ. Sydney.
Yeah, I also voted for ZZ. Sorry, girl, I love you, but just with everything that happened during the roundtable tonight, and then everything that's happened through the day, I just feel like you are the most likely person here who could be a traitor with the evidence presented.
Next up is Jamie. Jamie is not here, but Jamie is pre-voted. They have voted Katie. Next we have is Hales. Hales has voted for Scooter. Hales.
Yeah, so I know that's like a different vote than everybody else, but with him being linked to ZZ, and by the way, like my reasons were like bullshit from round one, but when I was hearing people out today, I was like, if there is a link between them, I feel like at least giving him a vote could also like expose if they are actually both traitors. And also, like, I do have my own opinions, and I didn't want to like flip my vote at the last minute because I had already been deciding in my head.
All right, next we have is Topher. Topher voted for ZZ. Topher.
I voted for ZZ because even if you flip faithful, you're the person that's going to give us the most amount of evidence that we've had in this game thus far.
All right, next we have is Jess. Jess has voted for ZZ. Jess.
Okay, so I literally love you so much because we are really
You don't love me.
I do. But I think everything like Queen, I was a traitor. I feel like I see you in what I was. But I think the most I think that you and Scooter put each other was the most selling thing that's happened this entire round. And it feels like traitor and traitor violence to me. And if I'm wrong, I'm so sorry.
All right, next we have is Scooter. Scooter voted for Hale. Scooter.
I voted for Hales because Hales was never really able to give a valid reason on who they were sus by, like especially Evan. And I feel like unfortunately with the timing of Hales being sick and the blackout, that kind of limited Hales's ability to strategize with the other traders and come up with like a cohesive story and who to vote for. And so that's why I feel Hales is kind of out there with their answers. And so that's why I voted Hales.
Next we have is Sanam. I do not think Sanam is here anymore. Nope. All right, but they did vote. They have voted for Scooter. Next we have is Allie. Allie has voted for ZZ. Allie, you able to say? Or no, it's okay if not. Well, I don't think they're able to talk, so there you go. All right. Next we have is Evan. Evan, you voted for Hales.
Y'all already know why the fuck I voted for them. Anyways,
Okay. Next we have is Zach. Zach has voted for Scooter. Zach?
Yeah, so going into this, I got more convinced to vote him just because really what Sanam was saying as well. I feel like Scooter, you're really likable. You really do have good conversations and you really can flip people. And I just feel like ZZ is the more obvious person. So I feel like, regardless, it was between you two. And I just decided to go with you tonight.
All right. Next we have is Jodalee. Jodalee is not here, but has voted. Jodalee voted for Gluck. Next we have is Katie. Katie could also not. Katie's also not here. They voted for Wesley. Next we have is Gluck. Gluck voted for ZZ. Gluck.
Just based on how you've handled the last round with me.
You mad? You mad? You mad?
I'm just going. This is my moment, so I'd like to say my
This
piece,
is your
please.
moment. Have it.
Thank you. I'd like to say that that also indicates why I feel like you would have gone after Scooter harder today. I do think it's traitor on traitor violence, regardless on how you feel about me. And I think that also
I
shows.
think you're a sack of shit, Glenn.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
You're welcome, baby girl.
Next we have is Keaton. Keaton is not here. Keaton has pre-voted. Keaton has voted for Hales. Next we have is Mike. Mike has voted for ZZ. Mike.
Yeah, I think you really haven't defended anyone but yourself, and like the whole under the bus comment solidified that for me. And honestly, if you flip faithful, I'm still looking at you, Scooter. So I don't really care. I mean, I think you're the most likely to be a traitor out of everyone that we've listed so far. I'm still looking at Hills and Scooter. I don't really care either. But yeah, sorry, Queen.
And last we have is ZZ. ZZ has voted for Hales. ZZ.
Oh my god. I ain't got nothing to say. I'm getting fucking banished, bruh.
Right, no worries. So with that, we have an 8 to 4 to 3 to 1 to 1 to 1 vote. ZZ, you are banished from the castle. You have a moment to say your piece, reveal your role, and then leave the call immediately. Go ahead.
What up, heifers? I just want to start off by saying thank you, God, voting me out of this fucking game. I've been wanting to like have a mental health break from orgs, and I don't think that this was good timing for me to come into this. I love all of you so much, genuinely, and of course, I'm a fucking traitor. Are you playing?
Yay!
Don't do drugs when you
mother.
play traitors. You start doing
Yes.
stupid shit, bruh. But red light theory was bullshit. But I am absolutely a fucking traitor. Down. The fuck.
All right, with that, you've caught your first traitor. It is now 10:15. You will have till 10:35 to talk in the chats and stuff till lights out.
Period.
Good night, y'all.
Y'all